The Thursday lesson ended with this important question: how can we avoid the trap of believing in God and having correct doctrines and yet not fully surrounding to Christ? I want you to pause and think about this question for a moment. Believing in God and religiously following a sound doctrine are foundational aspects of our Christian faith. We need to establish that fact. However, the danger lies in stopping there, knowing about God without truly knowing Him. Make no mistake, it is possible to intellectually acknowledge who Jesus is and even defend biblical truth, yet miss the heart of the matter, surrounding all to Jesus. The story of the Pharisees in the gospel serves as a warning to all of us. They were experts of scripture, doctors of the law, zealous for God's commandment, yet when confronted with Jesus, God Himself in human form, they could not see beyond their own understanding and tradition. They believe in God, but they didn't truly know Him. They knew the doctrine, but missed the person of Christ, who is the center of true biblical doctrine. Sometimes I hear people say, you shouldn't only preach the doctrine, we should also preach Christ, assuming that the doctrine and Jesus are two separate things. Christ is the center of any true biblical doctrine. Jesus, fully God, calls us not just to believe in His existence or follow His teaching. He calls us to surrender, to give Him the lordship over every aspect of our life. This goes beyond correct belief. It touches the core of our being, requiring us to lay down our will, our pride, and our plans at His feet. If this is true, that Jesus is truly God, and it is, then He has authority over our life, our decisions, and our future. This isn't just about correct doctrine or theology. It's about aligning our heart, our minds, our action with the reality of who Jesus is. We must continually examine our life and our heart. As we conclude this week's lesson, I want to ask you to think about this question. Are we holding back part of our life from Christ's control? And that is something I want you to take away this week. Thank you for joining me and studying with me this week. I've really enjoyed the lesson this week. Cynthia will be coming on stage next week with lesson number 2. Happy Sabbath when it comes. God bless you, and we will see you next week.